follow me everywhere we go. There's one right up there. Right outside of my wife's work. We'll zoom back out. And never fails wherever I go. See ya.
Okay, I just want to read something off for you guys. Look at this. This is something about basically what's going on with me with the illegal spying and, this program they put me in, which I got to get out of because this is something for big time people. It's not something for a regular person like me. So I feel that I'm a subject of somebody they trying to set up and kill, trying to get themselves some kind of big reward or some shit like that. So.
From Ohio, he is on the House Intel Committee. And Congressman, it is ironic that on the very day you voted for an extension of this FISA bill, we are investigating, and the House Intel Committee is investigating whether it was misused to spy on the Trump campaign. It's that kind of misuse that led people like Senator Rand Paul to say the following. Play the tape.
It's one thing to spy on foreigners in foreign lands, and that's what the FISA Act is supposed to do. But millions of Americans are accidentally or incidentally collected in this database, and we don't want people willy-nilly just looking into this database without a warrant.
What'd you say today? What'd you say, you old flat tire here, there, me? Okay, so I'm leaving now, and look, this is the drones right here, you see? You got one right here, and one right there. By the train station, and these things about to follow me. This plane and that drone over here is another one that's gonna follow me. Okay, so y'all see these planes? Look, following me all around the city. Look right here. There's another one. Right before I turn the camera off, what street are we on? Tinker. Bam. Let's continue. You see it? Now watch, I'll show you. They're gonna appear where I'm at next. Okay. Okay, so here's another shot. Look, I'm right by the 110 freeway. And we'll see. Okay, there's one right there. Low flying plane. It's gonna, whatever corner I turn, it'll turn.
And continuing on with our look back at Occupy, some interesting developments are starting to be made public that we want to discuss. Now, you may remember, one of the issues many Occupy protesters spoke about over the last year was their concern that they were being surveilled by police. Now,
because I'm going to finish the same way I started. This is an agreement between the American people and its government. We are going to, we the American people give certain powers to government to keep us safe. And when those powers are misused, and the motive is not criminal investigations or national security, then I'll bet you my fellow citizens are rethinking their side of the equation.
Patriots is not to do this and to bring somebody in. It was sad, it was sort of a year and a half
sort of pictures. It won't even last long. What is the one time we're going to listen to the range of Michael Bennett? So I'm going to take Michael Bennett. Now, Michael Bennett last season, he 10 starts, 16 games and 9 sacks. Yeah, somehow you know it's going to work out with him in New England. And now there's everybody talk out there.
Passing up Alameda Street. That's the next exit.
Put in place to protect U.S. citizens. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you agree much of what is learned from these programs is classified or otherwise legally protected?
All FISA applications, review by the court, collection by us pursuant to our FISA authority is classified.
The dissemination of which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison?
Sure, dissemination, unauthorized dissemination.
Unauthorized dissemination of classified or otherwise legally protected material punishable by a felony up to 10 years in federal prison.
Yep, yes.
State lawmakers want to give police more altitude to do their work, as State House Bureau Chief David Williams reports. That has to do with drones in the air to fight crime.
Fort Wayne State Rep Bob Morris wants police to be able to fly a drone over a crime scene without a search warrant.
This bill is needed for public safety.
More and more police departments are launching drones. Evansville's police department regularly use theirs.
So you see that plane flying across, that's what happens the whole time. Saturday at night. I'm on the freeway right now.
Our aerial assets allow us to operate day or night, providing high-definition video and still photos. Our thermal camera allows us to locate missing persons or fleeing suspects in nearly all conditions.
But there's some gray area.
The way the law is currently written, we're not able to effectively use what we've got.
What does the term mask mean in the concept of FISA and other surveillance programs?
As Director Rogers explained, it's our practice, approved by the FISA court, of removing the names of U.S. persons to protect their privacy and their identity unless it hits certain exceptions. So masking means, as Mike Rogers said, I'll often see an intelligence report from NSA that will say U.S. person number 1, U.S. person number 2, U.S. person number 3, and there's no further identification on the document.
Admiral Rogers said there are 20 people within the NSA that are part of the unmasking process. How many people within the FBI are part of the unmasking process?
I don't know for sure as I sit here. Surely more, given the nature of the FBI's work. We come into contact with U.S. persons a whole lot more than the NSA does, because we may be conducting, we only conduct our operations in the United States to collect electronic surveillance, to conduct electronic surveillance. So I can find out the exact number. I don't know it as I sit here.
Well, I think, Director Comey, given the fact that you and I agree this is critical, vital, indispensable, a similar program is coming up for reauthorization this fall with a pretty strong headwind right now. It would be nice to know the universe of people who have the power to unmask a U.S. citizen's name. Put in place to protect U.S. citizens. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you agree much of what is learned from these programs is classified or otherwise legally protected?
All FISA applications, review by the court, collection by us pursuant to our FISA authority is classified.
The dissemination of which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison?
Sure, dissemination, unauthorized dissemination.
Unauthorized dissemination of classified or otherwise legally protected material punishable by a felony up to 10 years in federal prison.